this about Brahim's Holding Berhad. Brahim's Holding Berhad was founded by Mahmud bin Burhanuddin on 24 March 1982. Based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, it is an established Malaysian household brand that was created to address the need of today's consumer for authentic, tasty and nutritious meal solution that can be easily cooked and eat. Brahim's Holding Berhad is a largest provider halal meal and also one of halal and ready-to-eat food industry. Brahim's is the country's leading halal in-flight catering company. Next, for the company's type and industry, Brahim's company's type is investment holding company. It is in the industry of commercial services because it is not just lead in the halal in-flight catering company but also engage in warehouse and logistic related services, food and beverage and catering business in Malaysia. For the vision of the company is to be an integrated high-performance halal food group with a brand globally recognized for its halal quality and food safety from farm to fork. And then for the mission is to achieve earnings level sufficient to ensure sustainability and to reward stakeholders with steady earning growth and dividend. And then for the objective of Brahim's Holding Berhad are to spread its wing to other lucrative markets, and then to expand its business to the Middle East and Africa, and lastly to increase its non-airlines business revenue contribution to between 30% and 40% in the next 2 years to reduce dependency on the airlines catering business. For the strategy for this company is to spread its wings to other lucrative market. So, Brahim's Holding Berhad will ink a 5-year deal Kereta Api Tanah Melayu Berhad KTMB to provide total food and beverage solution for its electric trains services ETS. Secondly, to expand its business to the Middle East and Africa, factory in Jordan will manufacture products for the Jordanian military, and Brahim's Holding Berhad will make a joint venture with the Jordanian government. And lastly, to increase its non-airlines revenue contribution. So, they will carry on developing their airline business to increase their in-flight catering business. Other than that, Brahim's Holding Berhad also want to increase their non-airline sector among the Tamadam warehouse and 15 airport restaurants under Dewina host Sendran Berhad and other non-airlines kitchen. For the issues that we can take from Brahim's Holding Berhad are dependency of the company and negative public perception. Okay, for the dependency of the company, Ibrahim is quite worried about the growth outlook for Brahim's in the immediate terms that involve Malaysia Airlines, which is about million users at March. From the trouble that MAS had going through, the disappearance of MH370, MAS is not prioritizing in-flight meals like other airlines based on the second quarter account of MAS. But he noted that the last year was the company's best year, yet posting 22.2 billion net profit on the back of 394 and 72 million revenue. And for the negative public perception, Brahim's are well known for its low price and have good value of food, but at that time, it's come for the negative perception from public when they say about the lower quality issue due to the cheaper food.
Okay, next for the list of board of directors and top management of Brahim's Holdings Berhad, the executive chairman, the position is held by Datuk Seri Ibrahim bin Haji Ahmad, non-independent non-executive director Tan Sri Datuk Muhammad Ibrahim bin Muhammad Zain, Datuk Chu Kah Ho, Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Panglima Haji Abdul Aziz bin Abdul Halim. Next, for independent the non-executive director, the position was held by Tan Sri Datuk Seri Panglima Sulong bin Mat Jirai, Professor Dr. Jinak bin Salamet, and Kamil bin Datuk Haji Abdul Rahman. And lastly, for alternate director to Datuk Seri Ibrahim bin Haji Ahmad, the position was held by Ahmad Fahimi bin Ibrahim. For organizational structure part, Brahim's Holding Berhad was divisional structure. It's suitable for massive corporation company that have many product lines in numerous industry. For example, flight catering and cabin handling was held by Brahim's SATS Investment Holdings Sdn Berhad. Food and beverage by Brahim's Food Facilities Sdn Berhad, and lastly, warehouse and logistic by Tamadam Industries Sdn Berhad. Next, we move into company resources of Brahim's Holdings Berhad. I will explain about return on investment, profitability ratio, liquidity ratio, and leverage ratio. Next, for return on investment, which is ROI, it measures the profitability of an investment. In 2015, the ROI of Brahim's Holding Berhad was 6.97%. In 2016, 34.7%, and 2017, 35.07%. And this was a milestone achievement for Brahim's in the year 2016 because their profitability of an investment increased greatly. Next, for liquidity ratio, we have current ratio, quick ratio, and working capital under liquidity ratio. For current ratio, it is acceptable of short-term creditors for any company. In 2015, Brahim's current ratio was 0.85 times. In 2016, 1.66 times, and 2017, 1.65 times. And 2016 is the higher, which is 1.66 times, and it means business financial of Brahim's better when it has enough liquid asset of its operation. Next, for quick ratio, it indicates the ability of a company to use its near cash. In 2015, the quick ratio of Brahim's Holdings Berhad is 0.82 times. In 2016, 1.56 times, and 2017, 1.55 times. So we can state that 2016 have better liquidity position and has enough quick asset to pay their short-term debt. And lastly, for working capital, it used to measure the ability of a business to pay its short-term debt. In 2015, the working capital of Brahim's Holding Berhad was 11,895. In 2016, 41,009. In 2017, 38,796. So this 2016 has higher current asset for its operation of Brahim's Holding Berhad. Next, I will explain about profitability ratio, and I will just talk about return on asset and return on equity. For return on asset, ROA, it determines the effectiveness of management in using their assets to generate income. In 2015, the ROA of Brahim's Holding Berhad was 3.2%. In 2016, 32%, and 2017, 0.6%. And we can see from 2015 to 2016, the graph has increased rapidly, but due to some problem, it has decreased drastically in 2017. And it shows that Brahim's is facing some problems to fully utilize its asset. Next, for return on asset, ROE, it determines on how a company generates earnings growth to use for investment fund. In 2015, ROE of Brahim's Holdings Berhad was 6.7%. In 2016, 115.8%. And 2017, 7.0%. And the ratio goes up drastically in 2016, which is 115.8%. It is a good thing for stockholders, and it indicates the Brahim is using the equity provided by stockholder efficiently. And lastly, for leverage ratio, I will just explain about debt to equity ratio. It was used to show the ability of the company to fulfill its responsibility to their creditors. And debt to equity ratio of Brahim's Holding Berhad in 2015 was 0.26%, in 2016 0.21%, and 2017 0.25%. We can see that 2015 is the highest compared to the next 2 years. Moreover, it decreased in 2016 and goes up again in 2017. It means that the company is using more investor in their financing.
Next, I will present about pest analysis. The first one is politic. In political factor, government regulation and legal factors are assessed in terms of their ability to influence the business environment and trade market. Political factors such as implementation of sales and service tax does not give a big impact to Brahim's Holdings Berhad subsidiary, Dewina Food Industry Sdn Berhad, as they are a company that engage in food industry. Regarding to Nur Saadah Ahmad, a tax specialist, she said that this is because 6% tax imposed on services such as hotels, insurance, and takaful, as well as food and beverage provision is the same as the tax imposed during the implementation of the good and service tax previously. For economy, through economic analysis, business are reviewing economic issues that will definitely impact the company. This will include factors like inflation, interest rate, economic growth, the unemployment rates, and policies and the business cycle followed in the country.
Several years back, Brahim's Holding Berhad encountered several issues. It is mainly on the catering service provided for in-flight airlines. The losses are quite worrying as it stems from their largest customer, Malaysia Airlines, which booked 443.39 million loss for the first quarter ended March 31 in 2014. Brahim's share price dropped 5.29% after being negatively impacted. However, due to the positive environment in the tourism sector, the number of tourists from other countries had been increasing. It will increase the number of airlines travel as well as the demand for the in-flight catering service. Tourism sector contribute to the growth domestic product of Malaysia, thus giving the company a very good opportunity to make profits. The next one is social cultural. The recent years had recorded the increase in the number of Muslims population worldwide. This affected many sectors and industry, and one of them is food industry. But Brahim's managed to see the opportunity to make their products through all over the world, such as Middle East countries, Africa, Japan, and China. These countries are in demand for halal food, which is the best quality. The next one is consumers eating trend. People are just too busy to spend their time on cooking and do kitchen works. So the best option for them is to choose hassle-free eating habits. Most of instant food are lack in nutrition and impose harmful effects to the body. So Brahim's introduced on interesting and tasteful foods which caters to the consumer's need. Thus, social cultural forces are currently affecting both corporations and the industries in which it competes.
Technology. Retort technology in producing foods have been used by one of Brahim's Holdings Berhad subsidiaries, Dewina Food Industry Sdn Berhad, since 1988. In 1986, Ibrahim established Dewina Food Industry Sdn Berhad along with Japanese entrepreneurs Tatsunobu. As a result of the establishment of this company, Brahim's products have acquired retort technology through the joint venture and technology transfer from Japan. Brahim's Holding Berhad subsidiaries, Dewina Foods Industry Senjan Berhad has been the founder of retort technology in Malaysia, as well as making Malaysia as the third country after Japan and Taiwan which commercialize the processing of retort pouch. According to Research and Development Manager of Dewina Food Industry Senjan Berhad, Rosita Ahmad Ali, retort pouch are plastic wrapping and aluminium metal coatings used as alternative in replacing the commonly used canning method. The food processing technique used is retort pouch technology. Food provided through this technology will be cooked first according to the formulation, filled in the retort pack, and then crushed next to the sterilization temperature for a few minutes in the retort. This sterilization process will remove bacteria in the food and prevent it from being damaged. The benefits in using retort pouch technology are: first, the food pouch created with aseptic processing that made from various flexible laminate layers. Second, allows the sterilization of various foods and beverages ranging from water to cooked food, high-calorie thermostabilized meals, ready to eat, edible either cold or soaked in hot water. The third one is retort package is lighter and flexible than the heavier cans, where the food is easily damaged if the can ducts, and it also can contribute to bacterial growth. The last one is foods that pack by using this retort packing technology can hold for 18 months or 2 years depending on the criteria of a product.
The next one is I will present about Porter's 5 process model. The first one is the existing industry rival. Brahim's Holding Berhad subsidiary have a limited rival. This is because the company only serves to provide foods to airline and to Angkatan Tentera Malaysia ATM only. The closest competitors is KL Airport Service Senjan Berhad, KLAS, a subsidiary of DRB Highcom Berhad, which has a maximum production capacity of 5,000 meals a day. Meanwhile, Brahim's can produce on average of 50,000 to 55,000 meals per day. Brahim's also expand his market in food products to overseas, which now has been in more than 25 countries. The rival for this area is Halcyon International Senjan Berhad, which is a supplier and a company that promoting local food products in international market. Thus, the rivalry for Brahim's Holding Berhad is low since there has less competitors to compete in this industry. Second, the bargaining power of suppliers. Brahim's Holding Berhad have their suppliers from Japan, whose they get the technology resources to carry out ports for their food products. They acquired this technology transfer in 1986, and as a result of this joint venture and technology transfer, Brahim's Holding Berhad established this subsidiary, the Dewina Food Industry Senjan Berhad. Thus, the process power of suppliers is low. The third one is the bargaining of customers. Brahim's Holding Berhad has a strong influence on their largest customers, MAB, and also to their other airlines customers such as AirAsia X, Etihad, Cathay Pacific, China Airlines, and so on. Only Brahim is capable to provide a lot of quantity food and fast to these airlines. But there is an issue that makes the force of customer of Brahim's become quite limited. The issue is when MAB needs to delay their payment to Brahim's on some factors until it affects the cash flow of Brahim's Holding Berhad. In recovery plan of MAB, Khazanah Nasional Berhad has proposed 12 points initiative to bring national carrier Malaysia Airlines back to profitability within the next 5 years. One of it, Brahim's need to sign a new catering agreement (NCA) with MAB, which will shorten its tenure with the MAB. The old contract for a period of 25 years and ends in 2028. Datuk Sri Ibrahim, the Executive Chairman of Brahim, said that its subsidiary Brahim's Airline Catering Sdn Berhad could be compelled under the MAS Act to continue supplies to MAB despite the company withholding payments and was prevented from filing legal action for unpaid receivable. Thus, this showed that Brahim's Holding Berhad has a medium forces of customers' influence.
Fourth, the trade of substitute products or service. The main business of Brahim's Holding Berhad provided in-flight catering service. Brahim's SATS Food Service Sdn Berhad, known as LSG Sky Chef Brahim's Food Service Sdn Berhad, is the principal flight service provider at the KLIA and Penang International Airport. They had been the suppliers for 36 international airlines. As for substitute products, Brahim's might not encounter any problems as their main products is in-flight food, which is very essential in a premium flight. SFS provide a complete set of meal which can fully satisfy the needs and preference of the customers. Besides, they can produce a max number of 50,000 meals per day compared to their closest competitors, KL Airport Service Sdn Berhad, which has a maximum production capacity of 5,000 meals a day. Thus, we can say that the trade of substitute products or service for Brahim's is low. Lastly, trade of new entrants. Brahim's has a good presence of entry based on their economies of scale. Scale economies in the marketing and production of foods gave Brahim's a significant cost advantage over any new rival. Since its interception in 1986, the Vina Food Industry Sdn Berhad, through its brand name Brahim's, has been leading authority of premium quality in instant rethought pot foods in Southeast Asia. Besides, they also become a main supplier for in-flight catering for MAS and other 35 international airlines. It is already accepted among the airline's customers for its ability to safety requirement. Thus, it is hard for new entrants to compete with Brahim's, especially in the in-flight catering business.
For strategy alternative, Brahim's Holdings Berhad currently implements the growth strategies in order to achieve their objective. This is normal as they are going for growth in sales, assets, profits, or some combination of these. They need to do whatever they can in order to survive in the expanding and competitive industry which there are in it. So based on the company's annual report for 3 consecutive years, we can see that there is a drastic growth most currently occurred in the year 2016, where the return on investment is very good. This indicates that the company have a very good management of investment. It is the same with liquidity ratio and return on equity, where the company have enough cash in order to pay back the short-term debt. Despite this growth, the company had a little downfall in the year 2017, where almost of the ratio is declining, but not to the extent of bankruptcy. So, we are giving strategy alternative based on the TOS analysis done by considering the 2 factors, which is cost leadership and product differentiation. By looking at the strength and opportunities factors of the company, we suggest that Brahim should expand and supply a variety of halal food to another airline company that flies currently to Malaysia at a reasonable and affordable price. They can also become the supplier to another public transportation such as train, especially for long journey. For strength and trade factors, it is advisable to publish halal certificates approved by JAKIM as evidence to increase the trustworthiness of their product. As we know, consumers nowadays are becoming more mindfulness where they are more curious to know about the raw materials, how it is processed and so on. This can also be a form of product differentiation because consumers nowadays are becoming more alert on the importance of consuming halal and quality food. In addition, it is not easy to obtain the halal certificate unless they had undergone through strict inspection by the authorities. Lastly, for weakness and trade factors which is risky to the company, we advise that Brahim should develop new packaging design which is more user-friendly so that it can be kept on even after it was opened. And they can also improve their new marketing strategy instead of doing the traditional ways in order to increase the sales, thus increasing the profit. And now for recommended strategy. For corporate strategy, Brahim should implement the pause or proceed with caution strategy under the stability strategy. The strategy proposes that the company should be given the opportunity to rest for a temporary period as they had gone through drastic growth for a while. For example, Brahim can plan strategies to be less dependable on their current business, which is in flood catering business, and try to focus more on the other business, which is the F&B. For functional strategies, the IT department should play an active role in improving the technology use as well as building new facilities which can enhance the operation of their business. For finance department, they should revise their annual financial report in order to know what to cut and what to maintain along the business operation. As a conclusion, these strategies can be the best way to improve current performance of the company as well as strengthening Brahim's competitive position as the major player in the food industry. Thank you.